Well, hello. Welcome to Cozy Corner Chats with Caitlin. I am your host, Caitlin, and I've never made anything like this before, and that name literally just rolled off my tongue. I have no idea where it came from, but I have been making content on the internet for about 5 years, and prior to me making videos about healing and personal development and growth and what I've been through, I made videos about child loss here on YouTube. I made videos about what it's like to lose a child and then grieve that, but also what it's like to then get pregnant and go through the emotions and the wild ride of pregnancy with a lot of fear. My career on YouTube has been interesting, and I've stopped and restarted. I've rebranded, I've grown, I've developed into who you get to see all the time on TikTok. And I just want to thank you for watching this today. I want to thank you for putting it on and listening to what I have to say, because sometimes people, me in particular, think that I don't have a lot of value to add. But then when I talk to my coaching clients, they're like, man, you really need to share more. So here we are, me sharing with you. So thanks for your time today. While we're on the topic of history and where I've been and how I've gotten to where I am, I think it's important to share that part of my life because I don't openly talk about it a lot. I was raised in foster care, and I grew up in a very unstable environment with a lot of abuse, neglect, and I had to be resourceful. I had to learn at an early age how to be manipulative so I could be safe and to kind of get what I needed, not necessarily what I wanted. And that developed into some really toxic traits and some toxic behaviors that I had to heal from in adulthood. Because although I was in therapy my whole life, I never really got to a point in my therapy where I trusted the therapist, number one. Number two, that I could actually heal those parts of myself because I wasn't ready, because I was never in a position to trust myself enough. And now, as I sit here with you, I have done a lot of therapy in my adulthood, and I've learned that those parts of me are so valuable if I harness them the right way. Like me being resourceful has helped me develop skills to be a really great parent. I manage money really well. I'm a single mom to two boys, and we get to travel and have really beautiful experiences because I'm resourceful, because I'm frugal. But also in business, I come into coaching calls with a lot of empathy and compassion because I know what it's like to sit in the darkness with you. I know what it's like to have really hard experiences. Even if we haven't had the same experience, I know what it feels like to have that experience, and I have enough empathy to understand what it must be like to be in your situation. And I can see solutions. I can see a way out. I can help you navigate it because I can see a bigger picture. And that only comes from the pain that I've gone through in my life. Speaking of pain, our pain shapes us into who we are. Our pain allows us to see the world in a different way. Our pain gives us new perspectives, and our pain also can close us off and make us jagged. Jagged, is that the right word? I believe so. I never wanted to become hard. I never wanted my pain to make me a hard person. I never wanted my experiences to close me off and to become a shell of a human being. I always wanted my experiences to allow me to become expansive and to help people. Like, that's what I always come back to. That is at the core of everything that I want to do, is to help you, to help people. Pain can either break you or allow you to grow. There's something there. I said a quote once about being a flame and what it's like being the flame, because you don't see all of the burnt pieces. You only see the flame at the end of it, right? So I might be this bright light, I might be this flame, but before this flame, I was nothing but ash and ember, and I had to feed it. I had to nurture it, to, you have to feed the flame. And finally I fed myself enough to become this version of myself. But it was really hard, and it is really painful to grow and to heal, like a phoenix rising from the ashes. And I am no stranger to death and rebirth. Like, I have gone through so many changes and transformations in my life, foster care being one of them. But within the foster care system, I had 3 really pivotal moments in foster care where I almost had it. Like, I almost had a family. One of them, I was there for, I want to say 3 or 4 months, and then their house got broken into. So we moved and we rebuilt a home. And during that rebuilding stage, the family kind of fell apart and I was rehomed. And then I moved to another family and they had a fire. So the house burnt down, and I was so close again to having, I think I was almost there a year, and I was so close to having that family dynamic, and the house burnt down. Again, upon rebuilding their home and their family, I was moved from that home to another home. And I never really had a stable foundation to call my own. So it was always death, rebirth, death, rebirth, death, rebirth. There was always something happening. And then when I come into adulthood, I am terrified of the other shoe falling. Whenever anything feels like it is stable or things are in like a really good space, I actually now welcome the change. I am now in a point in my life where I'm like, I'm ready for the change. And I know things have to crumble in order for things to be rebuilt. And I've learned that through my upbringing. But also I've learned that because that is the evolution of life. If you look at the seasons, things die and then they come back, and things die and then they come back. It is just the flow of life. And in order for you to rebuild yourself, you have to die. You have to allow those parts of you to die. You have to be open to change. And that is something that my experiences throughout my entire life have taught me. I am no longer scared of change because I have built the foundation within myself. When I was younger, I was seeking that foundation within others, and I was always hurt because that foundation can't be built within other people. That has to be built within yourself. And that little girl inside of me had to go through a lot of healing. I've had to do a lot of inner child healing work because she was always trying to drive the car to seek out love, to seek out stability, to seek out people and places that would feed her, versus coming back to self, coming back to who I am, and knowing my worth, knowing what I stand for, and knowing that I can and will support myself. And I don't need other people to do it for me. But isn't that interesting? As I'm saying this, I'm also realizing that this can come from a place of overcompetence. Like, you are overcompensating and also having the mentality of being able to do it all on your own does not mean that you are strong. There's something really beautiful about knowing and allowing yourself to receive help from others, which is something that I haven't experienced a lot in my life. And I try to be open with receiving the help and guidance from others, or support, whether that be emotional, financial, physical, but it's really hard for me because I have built that wall, not really necessarily maybe a wall, but I put myself within this like bubble of like, I got it, I can do it myself, and I don't have other people to do it. But do I not have other people because I have been pushing it away? I don't know. As I'm speaking to you, I'm also learning a little bit about myself. And I think that's really interesting as we have these talks. I think I'm going to learn more and more about myself, because it's kind of like a mini therapy session for me. But I really hope that during these long-winded conversations, you are learning about me and yourself. You are seeing parts of yourself that maybe you didn't recognize before. Maybe I say something that sparks some curiosity within you, or maybe resonates with you, or maybe sits with you. I hope that as we continue to grow and cultivate this community and relationship, that we grow together. That I encourage you to ask yourself, to be inquisitive with yourself. I think that's my hope for this whole adventure that I'm now on. Wow, I sat here for 10 minutes. I'm very proud of myself. Thank you so much for tuning in today. to Cozy Corner Chats with Caitlin, even though my name is a K and not a C. We'll work on the title, but for now, I think it sticks. I want to thank you so much for being here. And if you are curious about, coaching or wanting to dig in deeper on your personal experiences or what you might be going through, you can book a call with me through the link in my bio on my website. If not, I will see you next time and have a great day. I love you so much. Okay, bye.